Okay, let's move on to the big fight this weekend.
Got to. We brought it up a little earlier, so it's a perfect transition, man. Terence Crawford, Kell Brook. There was something. Andre Ward interviewed Terence Crawford. Did you see it
No.
on YouTube? I'm gonna send it to you. And it's cool. It's just Terence Crawford on a chair, black background, and he's just talking, and it's beautiful, man. He's talking about all the people that he's fought in the past, what people say about him for his pound-for-pound stuff, who he is as a family man, and it's painting him in this light that real boxing fans see him versus the outside world that thinks he's like this really scary fucking mean guy that's always looking to beat people up and fucking sticks his tongue out and fucking looks scary.
No.
We love that shit, man. And again, really quick to go back to Devin, if you want to be the star in boxing, you got to be like Terence, man. Terence
Drop that facade.
Yo, and like takes all these fucking punches, isn't scared to be embarrassed, and if he ever is close to being embarrassed, like a couple fights, he's taking big shots, and he comes and fucking kills people. Like, he's fucking mean, and we love that shit. So, this fight coming up, a lot of people are saying that Kell Brooks is washed up and he doesn't have it and he hasn't fought anybody in such and such time, and Terence is just doing it as a cleanup fight. I totally disagree. I still think Terence is going to come out on top, but Kell Brooks is fucking dangerous, man. He's skilled.
Let me say this. I've seen Kell Brook from ringside before. I was at the Porter fight where he won his first title.
Yeah.
Maybe not his first title, but he won a title at welterweight.
Was that Porter's first defense at that?
It might have been.
I feel like he got the belt and immediately lost
Yeah, it might have been. I can tell you from seeing it in person, that motherfucker is fast, man.
Yeah.
His right hand, his right uppercut come with the quickness.
Yeah.
And his jab is second to none. Now, his main deficiency is he's a front runner, meaning he'll win the first 4 or 5 rounds like you saw in the Spence fight, but then he'll fade down the stretch. So people that are taking Kell Brook lightly, don't do it, man. The guy's fast. He hits hard. His Achilles heel is probably his stamina. He may have fixed that. We'll see. But you got to think, his only 2 losses are to Triple G, where he moved up 2 weight classes, and the Errol Spence.
It's not a bad resume.
I mean,
not a bad resume,
can't get any
bro.
worse. Like, come on.
It's not a bad resume, man. And look, are we saying that he has a huge chance to win? I don't think so. Terence is the shit to me, but he absolutely has a chance, man. The dude is super fucking skillful. Who was the last person he fought and win? Kell Brooks.
He's beaten some guys I've never heard of.
Stayed in Europe.
Yeah, he stayed overseas and won some fights. But I will say this, man, Terence is the truth. And I'm so annoyed with Bob Arum that he doesn't push this man more. I want to ask you a question to see if you know the answer.
Yeah.
Of Terence's last 11 opponents, how many have gone the distance?
Horn didn't, right?
Nope. 1.
Who?
One guy,
Who?
Victor Postal, and he got dropped.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Why are they not pushing
Dracula
that?
looking kind of
Yes. Creatures of the night. 10 out of 11 guys he's knocking out.
That's right.
And top-ranking Arum, they aren't even talking about that.
Yeah.
That motherfucker is the Terminator. Halloween just passed. He is Michael Myers in the flesh. Do you see how angry he gets when he gets buzzed by somebody else?
Man.
He comes for your ass, man.
I think, Mark, you might have been there, but I was watching some fight, and I was like, yo, why is he doing this? He might get dropped. Oh, no, he's going to get dropped. And then Crawford just started fucking coming at him, and I was like, I was a little high, so sorry. But I was like, I've never seen anybody do this shit. He's so fucking mean. Oh, I fucking love this shit.
Yeah.
I've never seen boxers come at people like this. Oh, my fucking God. Because you just don't see it in today's day and age. And in the 80s, I was too young to really watch, like, the fucking mean boxers that were out. But he was fucking doing it, man. And I forget who, like, a couple people have rocked him early on. And he comes back and tries to fucking punish them. Not knock them out, punish them.
Yeah, the last fight, he got knocked down by
Him.
Kill Bill 1 and 2.
That's right.
Kalamazoo, I don't know his name. I can't pronounce it. I'm not going to try.
I saw it. And people were, the one that was saying it kind of looked like a push, but
no, it was a knockdown. It was
and
legit.
he knew it. He knew it.
Yeah. The look on his face when he gets embarrassed is scary, man. That dude does not play around. And the great thing about Terence is he is so versatile.
Yeah.
He'll go from right to left
Switching.
all the time. And Tim Bradley actually had a great point about him.
The one.
Yeah, Tim Bradley was the 140-pound champion. He was the man at that weight class. Yeah. He brought a young Terence Crawford in to train with him. And he said early on in sparring, Crawford was going toe-to-toe with him. And then after the first session, Crawford told him, I'm not actually a natural lefty. So he had sparred him with his left hand the whole time. And so Bradley said, okay, in his mind, he was like, okay, this kid's going to push me. Now I'm going to turn up the intensity. He was like, I couldn't get the better of him at all. The kid is so freaking good.
Wow.
And that's rare that you can have power in both hands from both stances.
Yeah.
Terrence is the man. For my money, he's probably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
He's my pound-for-pound right now. And how rare it is for a fighter like Timothy Bradley or anybody to be like, yeah, he got the best of me.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck says that?
Nobody. And a funny story about Tim Bradley. Not Tim Bradley, I'm sorry. Funny story about Terence Crawford. I met his family by accident. I was at the Mike Alvarado, Brandon Rios 2 fight in Vegas, and there was this black family in front of me. And so, like, they announced that Terence Crawford was up next, and they started making a lot of noise. And I was cheering too. They were like, "Oh, you like Bud?" I was like, "Yeah, man, Bud is great."
That's awesome.
And then she was like, "Oh, I'm actually his aunt." And so his whole family was there, and it was funny to me because you can see like they're very sweet people. The moment Terence Crawford came out, they were like, "Whoop his ass, Bud! Fuck him up!" I was like, "Oh, that's where he gets it from."
That's right.
They're really nice people, but they don't fuck around. And that's where Terence Crawford gets it from.
Bud's mom is like one of my favorite people to watch on the corner, man. She's just real. Like, she just comes out and she's fucking yelling, and I would fucking do that too if my son was fighting. I'm sorry, all my humbleness, all my like wanting to be fair would go out the fucking window. If my son's in a fight, I'm like, do what you got to do to fucking win, man.
Yeah, man, it's a fight to the death in
That's
there.
right, man. So yeah, we like Bud is my pound for pound for everything that he can do and how he fights and how he like wants to put on for the fans. And also in the interview with Ward, he was talking about, you know, like nobody talks about like how I'm a family man and how I do all this shit for my kids, you know, and for my family, and like he feeds a lot of people too. I've never seen somebody have such a big group of people at fights, and it's fucking deep.
Yeah.
And all the people that he's feeding around him, it's just, I don't know, man. Like a lot of people want to say, well, he just looks like a mean guy or he does this and does that. I think there's some underlying racism in there because if you really, really watch the dude and listen to how he talks and how he is, he seems like somebody you want as a fucking friend, man.
And how are you supposed to not be mean? You're in a fight.
Yeah.
Motherfucker can give you a brain damage. Like, how are you supposed to be? Like, oh, hey, you have to go, bud. Like, no, we're trying to survive in there. You're trying to take money off my kid's plate.
That's right. You could call boxing a gentleman's sport, but it's not really. You know what I mean? There's a lot of rules, so that's why they said gentleman's sport. But, man, when you're in there, you fucking die.
Yeah.
Like the way, you know, sorry to bring it up again, but the way Leo got knocked out the other day, it's fucking dangerous. The way the other dude got brain damage, right?
Yeah, Salcedo,
it's fucking dangerous to do this shit, man. So, I forget where I was going with that, but we really love Bud for this fight. After this, it could only be Spence, Manny, who else?
I mean,
because he's talking about sorry to cut you off, but in the interview he was saying he might he's thinking about retiring soon. Like it's on his mind now because he was like, I've done everything that I could do. Like I've topped everybody that's come for me. He was like, but I've never had that big fight because the big fighters don't want to fight me. I need that fucking Rocky moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who could it be? I'm thinking Spence, Pacquiao, I guess Danny Garcia's, and I don't see it.
Assuming Danny beats Errol, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think those are the only two fights. And quite frankly, I don't know if the Errol fight happens. Errol's talking about moving up to fight somebody we'll talk about in a little bit, Canelo, at Cowboy Stadium in the summer. So
a lot of money.
Unfortunately, I just wish, and I'm not privy to Terence Crawford's personal information. I just wish he would have went to the PBC because all these fights we're watching right now, we could have seen better versions of them. You know, we didn't have to see him fight Amir Khan when Amir Khan was pretty much, let's be realistic, with all due respect, was washed up.
Yeah. Still fun.
Yeah, but I wanted to see him fight, Porter. I wanted to see him fight Danny Garcia.
Oh man, him and Porter would be a hell of a fight.
God.
Porter ain't scared of shit, man.
No.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he went back to Top Rank.